A few years ago it was Sean Penn. Then a few years ago it was Pamela Anderson. And a few years ago last year, I think it was John Voight. I could go on. Before I ask those who are presenting, this is a surprise, Evander Holyfield for the final award of the evening, I just want to say two things. Firstly, to the extent that things tonight were not perfect in their execution, blame no one but me. Up until a week ago, to be honest, I didn't know if this dinner was going to go ahead, if the galas could go ahead. My father was really unwell, and I didn't know if we were going to continue. But thank God his health improved, so we were able to proceed. And then this entire day was taken with me and Simon unraveling a trip to Israel, where we were taking the chief architect of the Trump peace plan, Jason Greenblatt, with Simon and Brett Stevens and me to give 2 lectures in Israel, including in Yudan Shomron. But we pulled the plug at the last minute because we just did not know if any of us would be able to come back to our families, if either Israel was going to quarantine American tourists, because we read that, or if America was going to say, you're in Israel, you're quarantined. And I would do anything to get away from my kids for 2 weeks, but my wife would not. So I'm sorry about all that. My kids are now stuck with me. And as I invite those who are giving the award to Evander Holyfield, please understand, in Hebrew we say, Acharon Charon Chaviv. The final is always the most precious and the most special. You are an extraordinary sportsman, and you're such a gentleman. And we are especially honored that you're here tonight with your family. You got to have the best table in the house with Jimmy Garrison, one of our board members and my closest friends. Best electronics store in all of Manhattan. Data Vision. There's a plug. Okay, Yvette. Yvette and Evander Jr. Okay, now you guys are now standing. The 3 of us are the best looking people in this room. I just want you to know that. Okay.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Yvette, and this is my brother, Evander Jr. So we're here tonight to present the Champion of Community Service Award to our dad, Evander Holyfield. Our dad has been such an inspiration to us. He has taught us that giving back to the community and charities are the most important thing because it goes towards each generation getting better.
And by the way, that is his phrase that he coined in our family, each generation always supposed to get better. So, in a world that uses words so fleeting, it's refreshing to see someone and to honor someone who actually backs their word up with action. And in that action, he's actually done very well by giving to the Boys and Girls Club and also sharing his knowledge, his love, his passion for the sport, sharing what it takes to be a champion. And I really appreciate that, though sometimes I hated when I was growing up. Waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, doing a whole bunch of jump squats.
A lot of prayers.
But nevertheless, it helped steer us into the person I am today, and I'm extremely thankful for that. I'm sure you are as well.
Very thankful.
And without further ado, let's introduce the man. There's a video? Oh, well, let's do that. Yay.
I'm honored, but I guess one of the most important thing I would like to say is that I'm the youngest of 9 in my family, and you don't choose your parents, but I remember as a kid standing in that bad neighborhood and people were telling us that we wasn't going to be anything. And so by me being the youngest of 9, and all I had is my mom, well, I had my brothers and sisters too. The extra eyes that got me getting all them whoopings. I used to get 3 whoopings a day, but I remember the day, as a kid when I was 6 years old, I got an opportunity. I was getting an opportunity to go to boys club, and I remember the boy wanted me to go to the boys club, And I told him, got to ask my mama, like that. So I hid behind this thing and see what's going to happen. And so he go, Miss Holyfield. My nickname was Chubby. I'd never been fat, but somehow my nickname was Chubby. So, can Chubby go to boys club with us? And my mama looked, and she said, "Tell him to come here." I knew she was mad. And so, you walk in there slow, and you looking at her in the eyes, because my mama, she'll slap you. So, I'm looking, and she said, "Why would you send him in here?" "He just wanted to ask you, Mama." She said, I tell him no just like I tell you no. I don't even know him. I don't even care nothing about him. Well, you gonna send him in there? And I was like, she said, "Don't you ever send nobody in here to ask me nothing that for you. I'm your mama. I'm not his mama." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." Like this, she's like this. But she said, yes, I could go. But, at 6 years old, now I got 4 friends at 6 years old talking about going to the boys club, which is 3 miles away. Now we got to walk to the boys club. So, I'm all happy because my mama said yes. So we go to the boys club. We walk to the boys club. When we get there, and they pull out a card, and they start scratching out a number. And they ran downstairs. So this older white lady was sitting there, and she said, "Are you a member?" I didn't know what that meant. My mama only had a 6th grade education. My dad didn't go to school at all, but they worked. And I'm sitting there, and she said, "Are you a member?" And I didn't know what that means. And, so I don't know to say yes or no. So I'm looking, and she said, "Do you have a card?" And I go, "No, ma'am." Then she said, "You're not a member then." She said, "Where do you live?" I said, "Across the park." So she knew that about 3 miles. So she didn't want me to walk back by myself. She said, "Well, you're going to have to go back." I said, "I can do it." She said, No, don't go back. Hold on. And she turned around, and she reached in her brassiere. And she got me a hot water. And like this, when she touched my hand, I knew it was hot. And she said, this quarter will allow you to come here for a whole year. Well, so I'm looking, and I said, "Well, thank you, ma'am." And like this, so it was true to what my mama had said. Now, my mama used to talk to me all the time, because back in the day, because this is 1970. In 1970, a lot of, I didn't know what prejudice was. My mama said prejudice. I said, "Well, what is that?" I'm like, I never been around no white kids. Everybody lived in my neighborhood was black. And so my mama said, she was trying to tell me, never be prejudiced. She said, now that's good and bad in every color. So she said, you never know that if you prejudice, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. So that was the first thing, this lady was white. She didn't know me for nobody. This is my first time coming. She didn't want to see me go back by myself, so she gave me the hot water. So with this hot water, I was able to go downstairs, and they put me in the age group, 6, 7, 8 years old. I found that I was faster than the kids that were 8 years old. Now, all my brothers and stuff was older. My brothers and sisters them was older than me. I was the youngest of 9, and they beat me in everything. And I'm like, they just told me up in everything. Anything they would beat me. So, by me getting to go to that boys club, changed my life. So when I went down that boys club, they put me with 6, 7, or 8 years old. I found that I was the fastest. I found that I was the strongest and all this. So I loved the boys club. So what happened, I was like, I go home and I tell my mama, and I tell them about what the boys club was doing and the perpetuity program. The boys club, they did everything. Now, a lot of people couldn't handle that. Now, my mama was very strict. I'm talking about, I had to be on time. On time means being early. And so the boys club had rules just like my mama, but they wasn't tougher than my mama. Now, if it were tougher than my mama, then I would have stayed at home. But since they weren't tougher than my mama, I went to boys club all the time. And so I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for the boys club. Now, my mama was great, but the boys club provided everything that I need that we didn't have at home. So the boys club provided this for me. And so I remember coming off the football field when I was 11 years old, and somebody was hitting the speed bag. And I go, wow, I want to hit the speed bag. So I go up and say, sir, I want to hit the speed bag. Can I come and hit the speed bag? He said, no. I said, why? He said, because you had to be on the boxing team. I said, sir, I want to be on the boxing team. He said, no. All right. So the next day, I come up there with my football pants on again. Asked him, he said no again. The third day, he said no again. The fourth day, I looked at him, and he seen me, and he just shook his head. I'm like, I just walked away, and when he turned it back, and I ran up there again, I said, sir, I want to be on the boxing team. This man, he was about 63 years old. He looked at me. He said, well, come on in. And he said, which bag you want to hit? I want to hit the little bag that make all the noise. He said, no, you need to hit this big bag. He said, I want you to hit as hard as you can. I said, yes, sir. And I went there and I hit that thing hard again. That thing knocked the skin off my knuckle. He started chuckling. He started laughing at me. When I see him start laughing, man, I just kept hitting that thing. And he go, whoa, wait a minute, your hand bleed. I know it. He said, you are tough. And I looked at him, I said, yes, sir. He looked at me, he said, you know you can be like Muhammad Ali? And I looked at him, I said, I'm only 8. And he said, you won't always be 8. And because he said I would always be 8, but next week I was going to be 9. So I believed it. So life is all about believing. So he said, you won't always be 9. And I go, okay. He said, what do you think? And I looked at him, I said, I got to ask my mama. He said, what? I said, I got to ask my mama. And he said, son, do you know you got a good mama? So, that kind of puzzled me because, at 8 years old, I know that he didn't know my mama. And he said, I got a good mama, but I know he didn't know my mama. But, of course, now I realize that he realized that anytime people had to talk about their parents, they got to ask their parents. He knew that I was he knew I had a good mama, because he knew that people who talk about their parents, the parents the one that lead. Because I was always trying to figure out, how would this man know that I got a good mama? Now, I didn't think she was good because I got 3 whoopings a day. I didn't think she was good. But it allowed me to be who I am. So this is how my career started. I go home and I ask my mama, I said, Mama, now my brothers and sisters was at home. When I came home, now they sitting in the front room. Now we stay in the 3 bedrooms. So I come in there and my brothers and sisters said, where you going? I said, I got to ask Mama something. So what you going to ask Mama? Because my brothers and sisters them know if I'm in trouble, they in trouble. So they want to find out. So what I did, I walk in, I said, Mama, now I didn't want my brothers and sisters them to hear me. Because my brothers and sisters always telling me, Mama just saying that because she Mama. So they don't actually think my mama telling the truth. Now, but I know that my mama whooped everybody. Because she whooped everybody, so I'm asking her. So what I do, I go in and I say, Mama. She said, what, boy? What you want? Because I don't want my brother them to hear me. This white man at the boys club said I could be like Muhammad Ali. My mama said, what did you say? I look over there, and my brother them, they trying to read my lips. So, turn this way. The white man at the boys club said I could be like Muhammad Ali. And my mama get that look, and all of a sudden, that ain't that good look. So I back back. And she said, do you know what they're going to do to you? So now I know we going to box. But my mama got that look, so I stepped back. She said, they're going to hit you. Now, when I got back far enough, I can laugh a little bit and smile, because I get 3 whoopings a day. And, all my brothers and sisters get to hit me, and I can't even hit them back. So my mom said, well, you can't hit them back. So this is how this thing started. Now, the fact of the matter, that after my mama said that, I went in the mirror, looked in the mirror. I seen myself, just like looking back there, see myself, and I put my hands up, and I say, Evander Holyfield, the heavyweight champion of the world. Now, the man said I could be the heavyweight champion of the world, the heavyweight champion. Now, I'm thinking that I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world now. Now, I don't weigh number 65 pounds, but somehow he said I could be the heavyweight champion of the world. So I'm thinking about being the heavyweight champion of the world now. So I'm looking in the mirror, Evander Holyfield, the heavyweight champion of the world. So in the point of saying that, I go back and I tell Mr. Morgan, I said, my mama said I could be the heavyweight champion of the world. And he looked at me and he said, what? I said, the heavyweight champion of the world, you say I could be like Muhammad Ali. And he said, son, sit down, let me explain it to you. And he sat there and he said, son, there's a thing called gold and something called fantasy. He said, let me explain it to you what it is. Now, he said, a fantasy when you want to be something, not work at it. A goal when you want to be something and work at it. And I said, yes, sir. He said, now, I don't have that much time, son. He said, is this a goal or a fantasy? And I said, goal. He said, okay, then you fight Saturday. So all of a sudden, here I am. Here I am, this getting ready to fight Saturday. And I go in, and he looked at me, he said, all right. He said, I talked to your mama, after my mama told me to give him the telephone number because she wanted to talk to him. My mama told her, said, look, Hank, this is my son. I love my son. Now, if my son don't come back, you better not come back either. He said, let me know. So but this is what my mama gave him to talk, and she told him, said, 3 things that my son had to do. He had to listen, he had to follow direction, and not quit. Now, these are the 3 things that it's going to take for him to be the very best of what he be. These 3 things, you got to remind him of this. So, all of a sudden, so what happened is that my mama, I go there, and he's, Mr. Marcus say, you see the kid there? I said, yes, sir. He said, now when the bell ring, I want you to run out there as fast as you can and hit him in the nose. I'm like, yes, sir. And so when I look at the kid, his coach telling him to hit me in my nose. So now the thing is that, I got to hit him in the nose before he hit me in the nose. So, and the glove reached all the way to my elbows. So I got the glove down like this, and the bell rang. I run that kid. We get close together. The kid closed his eyes. Now, I didn't close my eyes. When he closed his eyes, I hit him so hard in the face, and his hair went up like this, and when I hit him, he said, oh, God, like this, and he started crying. And so, and the referee stopped the fight like this, and my coach, Mr. Morgan, who, he had big stomach and all this, and the bald head here, and like this, he get in there, he get stuck in the rope, and he asked me, he said, did you know what you did? Did you know what you did? When he said that, I thought I did something wrong. I said, well, you told me to hit him. He said, yeah, you took your first step in being the heavyweight champion of the world. I won my first fight. So I get this trophy. I take it home, and my mama put it right there on the thing, and everybody come in the house, they said, Miss Holyfield, who is the fighter? And she would smile, and she said, that little one right there. And they said, well, he lived. My mama said, but he can fight. So I realized that my mama liked trophies. So I become part of the thing now. So I keep winning. I get another trophy and another trophy. Then all of a sudden, and plus the kid that I fought, he happened to be a white kid, and it just and so when you have brothers and sisters, somehow someone believed that white boys couldn't fight. And they told me white boys couldn't fight. And I don't know. But, I fight another white kid. When I hit him, he said, oh, God, and started crying, too. I said, the next kid I hit, he cried, too. So, so after winning 3 fights, I just thought that, I'm one, they call me One Punch Holyfield. I just swing one time. So all of a sudden it came down, and it was different. This white kid that I was getting ready to fight this time now, he was different. Now I know the difference. And but Mr. Morgan asked me, is I'm afraid of him. But I just thought, if he white, why would I be afraid of him? But the kid was different. Now, these other kids I seen, they mama with them and their daddy with them. Every time they fight, and they were smiling. They were always smiling. They had they had bowl haircut right here, hair right here, and they had shirt with the initials on it and all that velvet trunks like this. And I didn't have that. I just had some shorts and they were wrinkled and I was barefooted. And this white kid here, now his parents weren't with him. Now he didn't have that bowl haircut. His hair was long. And he ain't have no shoes on, just like I ain't have no shoes on. And he wasn't smiling like the other white kid was smiling. They were just grinning like that till they got hit. And this kid, his hair was long, and he had his head down like this and kind of looking at it, trying to see who got the biggest arm, And I'm like, okay, And so when my coach said, go hit him in the nose, okay. That bell ring, boy, I ran up there and I hit him so hard in the face. When I hit him so hard, his hair went out like this and came down, and he hit me back. And so that was my first time ever getting hit back. So for 1 whole minute, we just swung. And the bell rang. And my coach said, come on back. He said, what happened? I said, he hit me back. He said, welcome to boxing. And like this, so the whole thing in life is that, eventually you're going to meet somebody tough just like you. And this second round, me and this guy, we just, the bell ring and come back. Coach said, got one more round, get back out there. I go out there and I'm swinging and like this, and the bell ring. And the coach said, you got to go out there and they got to tell you who won. And they said, winner, Cesar Collins. They said that, and I realized it wasn't my name. And I started crying, and Mr. Morgan tried to calm me down, and I was a kid. I'm 11 years old. I tell him I don't like him no more. I quit and all this. And I go home and tell my mom I'm crying and all this. And my mom would let me cry for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, she said, cut it off. Now. So after that 5 minutes, I got to tell her what happened. And so when I told my mama what happened, and I told her I lost. And she said, and I told her I quit. And boy, she started saying these words out of her mouth, called me everything, and told me I didn't raise a quitter and you got to go back and all this and stuff like this. So when no question back, my mama said I got to go back, I had to go back. And I get back to the place and the man looked at me and he said, son, what you doing back? He said, I thought you quit. I said, my mama said I had to come back. He looked at me, then I told you have a good mama. And so I'm mad now. So the thing is, both of them say, you got to work hard, you'll do better. And all of a sudden, I had to fight Cesar Collins again, and he beat me again. And I started crying again and tell the man I don't like him again and all this. But when I get home, I know what my mama gonna say. So I decide to not to eat. Because if I don't eat, then my mama probably won't ask me. But somehow, my brother, who was at the table, so my mom said, where's Chubby? And somehow he said, he don't feel good. Now, who would say that to a good mama, that he don't feel good? So I hear her walking, and I'm sitting here trying to act like I'm asleep, and I know she had her hand on her hip like this, just waiting, and she just keep looking at me. Then she see my eye blinking. I'm trying to see, open up just a little bit. And she said, well, open your eyes, you're not asleep. And she said, what happened in the fight? So I realized that if you tell my mama a story, you're going to get that whooping when she find out. Now, she may not find out tonight, but whenever she find out, you're going to get the whooping. So I kind of figured I already got whooped one time. Now, at least I tried to win this one, but I can't hit my mama back, so I might as well just tell her the truth. So I told her I lost. And so she told me, she said, you know what you got to do? I said, no, ma'am. She said, you got to go back. So here I am. I have to go back. Now I realize that white boys can fight. My brother them lied to me. So here I am, but you know, good thing, ages, you get a little older. I turned 13 now, and a little smarter. So this time I go, so I had 3 of my friends who gonna get on the boxing team as well. And we go to the weigh-in, and they see all the white boys, and they say, wow, Evander, white boys, we can easily beat them. I zipped it up. I ain't said nothing. I know if I tell them they can fight, they're gonna ask me how. So I got to tell them I got beat up. So I ain't said nothing. So we go in the tournament. Now, we in the Junior Olympics. Now, this is how it ends. In the Junior Olympics, because once we was in the Junior Olympic program, whoever wins this, we get to stay in a motel for the first time. We get to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is 109 miles from Atlanta. So what happened is, the fact is that here it is. But I'm looking for Cecil Collins, because I know that's the only kid that could beat me. So whatever Cecil Collins weigh, I'm not going to weigh that, because I got a 5-pound weight. So whatever he weigh, so I'm the last one to get on the scale. I'm looking for Cecil Collins, you know. So I don't see Cecil. So I go in the bathroom, take the 5-pound weight, put it off, and I get on the scale. I weigh 100 pounds. Weigh my 100 pounds, and I feel that I'm gonna beat everybody. I win the first night, I win the second night, I win the third night. Matter of fact, all my friends, we all made it to the final. And so we fought. We had to fight 2 times that day. We fought in the morning. Now we got to fight in the evening. Now, when we won the first fight, they took us to a Burger King, you know. So when you win, they take a Burger King, and at that time, 2 hands had a Whopper. And so, you know, we all had Whopper and French fry and strawberry shake. The first guy lose, the second guy lose, the third guy lose. And so they tell me I got to lose. I said, no, my mama told me if I had to be the only one to show up, because my mama told me, she said, you know, if you have to show up. This is what life is about. Now, these guys want you to lose because they like, no, I couldn't lose. I told them I couldn't lose. Then they told me, they said, you are going to lose. I said, no, I'm not. They said, no, that guy named Cecil Collins. I said, he didn't show up. They said, what is his name doing right here? I look and see that boy's name on the list and start crying instantly. It was gone. I all of a sudden I was just like, I didn't even know he was in the tournament and all this, but I want to win so bad. So, you know, like I said, I get 3 whoopings a day anyway. My grandmama started telling me, she said, son, you got to learn how to pray. You got to learn how to pray. You got to call Jesus. Son, you got to call Jesus now. So I realized that when my mama sometimes whooping me too long, I call Jesus on her. You know what? She stopped. So I figured, if Jesus can stop my mama, he can help me with this guy here. So that's how I started. So what happened? I was sitting here crying and all that, and my friend, they were laughing at me, talking about, you gonna lose. And when I went up in the ring, and my coach looked at me, he said, now, you know if you cry, they're gonna stop the fight. I said, yes, sir. And when I started praying, and my friend them laughed at me all the way up to the ring, said he calling Jesus the whole time. And I went up there. When they rung that bell, I went out there and we started fighting. When they said the winner, they said Evander Holyfield, I jumped up and I realized that, oh, man, my grandmama was right. And so, not just now, I lost 9 more times after that. I lost 11 times, but I won 164. And all I'm telling you is this, just as you said, you know, in life, things about principles. My mama said, listen. My mama said, follow direction. My mama said, not quitting. And these are the things that I was raised on. You know, on time mean being early, not late, not just you. If you just get there at the same time, my mama said, you're late. You have to be early. That means, so my mama was very strict, and I would never be who I am. And you know, and the Bible said, every good thing come from the Lord. So I realized that mama that I have came from the Lord. My daddy came from the Lord. My daddy was strong and all that. And you know, my daddy can get a back of a pickup truck and just pick it up. My daddy used to make money by picking up stuff. And so I realized that everything that my mama wanted me to be, my mama wanted me to be better than her. So my mama told me, she said, son, you know what love is? Love is what success is all about. She said, son, you can't, see, liking something, people like a lot of things. She says, but love is the key to success. And like this, so here I am, I get into this boxing thing, and you know, I make the Olympic team. I'm the first fighter that ever been undisputed cruiserweight in 2 divisions. And I've become the heavyweight champion of the world 4 times. And in all that I did that, I realized that God give you a master plan. And it's about listen, it's about follow direction and not quit. My whole thing is that, but the most important thing that I'm happy about is the attitude that my mama told me I need to have. She said, son, you know, don't get caught up in all these things. She said, son, you want to do the right thing for the right reason. And so this is who I am. I'm who I am because my mother taught me at a young age principles. These principles that, son, if they do something wrong, you ain't gonna just do that. You know right from wrong. And so my mama drilled me on these things. So, you know, these are the same things that I try to instill into my kids. You know, every morning they know good and well I'm sending them a scripture. It's coming on their phone. They know it's getting there. I'm sending scripture. Because the fact is that my mama loved me so much, she wanted me to be better than her. And what my mama told me, she said, son, she said, I got bad habits. She said, you don't. I don't even like my bad habits. You know good and well I'm not going to like yours if they like mine. My mama wanted me to be better. So I stand here today and to tell you that I'm honored to receive this award. But the fact is, it's just like you say, success starts at home. Now, I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't have that mama that I have. I wouldn't been there. My mama had a heart attack when I was a kid, so my mama was at home every day. I got caught all the time. And my grandmama used to cry because I got so many whoopings. She said, you got to stop getting the whooping because when your mama hitting you, she hitting me. So, that kind of made me, it's amazing as a kid, because my grandmama felt like she was getting hit when my mama hit me. She said, you my heart. I swear, grandmama, you ain't got the whips. I got whips. She said, yeah, but it still hurt when you get hit, I get hit. So she taught me into how not to get whooping. I'm sitting, studying for school, but I had to study how not to get whoopings. And so I became who I am because love is when you want your kids better than you. I ain't make everything that I'm good in, my mother wasn't. Because she wanted me to be better than her. She didn't want me to be like her, she wanted me to be better. So I found out that love is what makes people thrive and allow them to be the very best. I'd like to thank you, and I'm honored to be able to share this with you.
Baba, can you come here? Baba, can you bring me my phone? I want to just say, please, Baba, bring my phone, please. I was telling Robert Smith earlier this evening that there's a Talmudic expression, words that emanate from the heart penetrate the heart, so you can't fake sincerity. That was a transcendent speech. I think that was the finest speech we've ever had at any of our galas ever. Evander, you are a true champion. You're the people's champion. And I have one final question to ask you, and then we're going to dismiss everyone. I know the hour is very late. Did you ever forgive Mike Tyson?
Of course I did. You know what? Mike Tyson, when he bit me on the ear, when I
was it kosher? Is what I really want to know.
All I know, it hurt. It hurt so bad, and by the time I started to walk down the thing, and everybody was mad. All the people who were with me was mad. And I told them, I said, you know what? I said, we got to forgive. They said, why? I said, did he bite you or did he bite me? I said, he bit me, right? I said, we gonna forgive him. But the reason why it was easy to forgive him, because God told me that you told me, say, how many times I fought 12 years for free in amateur, and didn't get paid nothing. And that right there, I fought 9 minutes just like I usually do, and I made $35 million in 9 minutes. And so he said, now that's what forgiveness is. Now, if you bite him back, you would have lost all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they always catch the second person.
Champ, God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all. Thank you. And this concludes the 8th Annual Champions of Jewish Values International Awards Gala. Thank you to all the honorees. I see Judge Janine. Judge Janine, thank you very much for the incredible speech and for your patience